Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, September 17th. And you can see temperatures this morning very comfortable in the mid 50s to around 60 most areas. Low 50s down here in Jasper, the cold spot, 52.8, and Newaygo at 53.8. And most days this time of year through the winter when we have clear skies and calm winds, you're going to see most of the time Newaygo will be the coldest of our stations that we have. We expect another fantastic day out there today with plenty of sunshine, highs in the low 80s. That'll make 3 days in a row. And we might even be able to squeeze another 80-degree day out on Friday. It'll be close. I think temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. But again, some areas could hit 80 for the fourth straight day in September, and that doesn't happen very often. If we take a look at the next slide, you can see a picture of a truck dumping the first loads of corn. A couple different producers bringing in new crop corn down at the Blissfield location, with many areas now receiving soybeans, and then the Breckenridge area really picked up in the dry bean department here over the last couple of days. We should get our first load of navy beans in today as well. If we look at the forecast map for later today, you can see high pressure off towards the eastern seaboard. That's what's been giving us our nice weather the last few days, and that'll continue to bring plenty of fair weather into most of the state for most of today. We could see some showers and thunderstorms sneak in late tonight across the western part of the area, but again, most of the state should be dry. And then as we get into tomorrow, I think scattered thunderstorms will develop, but again, there should be some pretty good dry areas. But as we get later in the day, showers and thunderstorms will become more likely, and some of those could be on the strong side with heavy rains, especially across the northwestern portions of the MAC area. And all areas should pick up a fair amount of rain here over the next couple of days. If we take a look at the next map, you can see, if I can move this around just a little bit, you can see the Severe Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow has most of lower Michigan are under a marginal risk of severe storms. Would not be surprised to see this slight area move further up into Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and at least into southern lower Michigan, but we'll wait and see if that does get increased later this afternoon. But certainly some strong damaging winds will be possible with the stronger storms, along with some very heavy local rainfall amounts. If we look at the expected rainfall from the WPC over the next 7 days, you can see the bullseye of precipitation from southwest to northeast across the area from around Muskegon towards Alpena. But it looks like all of lower Michigan is going to see a pretty substantial rainfall of at least a ½ inch to an inch, as we've been talking about, with areas like Newaygo, Breckenridge, Middleton, down to Lansing, and most likely getting up to or maybe even over an inch of rain. And some areas locally could pick up over 2 inches of rain here in isolated spots. So a pretty wet system will dry out and cool down once that system goes by. And I think we'll see temperatures only in the upper 60s to around 70, probably for Sunday, Monday, maybe even Tuesday. I think Tuesday we'll get back into the low 70s. And then we warm up a bit as we get towards the next middle of next week, when I think temperatures should be well into the 70s. And it looks like plenty of warm air coming right to in the month. If we look at the 6 to 10 day outlook, you can see it shows that we should dry out a bit. And we also expect that that trough that's coming through over the weekend, early next week, will continue to modify as it moves off to the southeast United States. And then we'll start to see this ridge begin to build and move to the east as we see a western trough really trying to get established here towards the end of the 6 to 10 day outlook. And if we slide it down to the 8 to 14 day outlook, you can see it continues to show dry weather across much of the Great Lakes over to the east coast, with again establishing a big ridge across the center of the nation that should eventually migrate off to the east, and we should see more of a trough into the northwest. And that's good news for the dry situation and all the fires out there. And if we look finally at the U.S. Drought Index, and we'll talk about, this is about a week old, the new one will come out in a couple of hours, but just to show some areas over the coming months here from fall into the winter where we expect some help. We expect plenty of precipitation across the southern states up into New England, so much of this area will certainly get relief from the drought conditions that they're experiencing now. I think areas like Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois should be somewhat neutral. I think we'll see more near normal precipitation over the upcoming fall and winter months. And then the big concern is out west, where it is extremely bad out there. We expect a pretty good amount of relief, or at least we think, with the El Nino winter. That's actually, the El Nino looks like it's peaking and it may begin to weaken, and that could actually bring more cold air into areas like Minnesota, Wisconsin, and to Michigan, with some stronger clippers maybe farther back to the west. than if it were to maintain the strong El Nino. But where we expect the most relief would be Southern California. It's looking not so great for the Pacific Northwest, as much of these systems will be driven down across the southern states. And again, lots of relief, I think, from Texas, the Gulf states, up into New England. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day, and 73s to all.